Let's be honest, making music is a time-consuming and costly process, from arrangement to mixing and mastering and everything in between. When it comes to distribution, you want the best value for money, and we are here to assist. So join us as we compare two of the most popular names in the music distribution game, Distrokid and Landr, from price to everything that comes with them, and trust that no hidden fees will escape our watchful gaze. If you find yourself torn between either Landr or Distrokid for distribution, then allow me to assist. Now, if you're new to music distribution, you might see the upfront costs of Distrokid's plan and think to yourself, well, this is a no-brainer. Distrokid is cheaper and still has great features. You would be right about the latter, but not the former. It's not a bad option at all. Distrokid is a decent distributor. However, they are not as affordable as non-members would think. So let's do a comparison, and to make it way more apparent, we are going to compare Distrokid's entry-level paid plan to Landr's pro distribution plan. So Distrokid's musician plan costs $22.99. Landr's pro plan is $44.99. Bear with me, the math will start mathing real soon. So, as I've mentioned multiple times, Distrokid has a wonderful feature called Leave a Legacy. Pay an extra $29 per song or $49 per album to keep your records live if your subscription lapses or you miss a payment, or I don't know, you leave the earth. This fee is non-recurring. Landr will charge you a whopping $0.00 for this feature. Landr always keeps your music live, even if your payment lapses. If you cancel your subscription, Landr will shift to a royalty sharing model. So with Distrokid, these are called album extras. With Landr, these are called the features that come with your plan. The upfront money that you've paid. It's covered in there. YouTube Content ID, which is known as the social media pack on Distrokid, as it also includes the TikTok database, and that will cost you $4.95 per year per track and $14.95 per album per year, as well as a 20% cut from the YouTube ad revenue. Now that 20% cut is not very uncommon, but I mean, on top of, I just paid $14.95 and I have 10 albums, let's say, I'm going to start having a problem with that 20% cut. So this alone sees the price skyrocket, as you are now essentially being penalized for releasing on the platform. YouTube Content ID is a critical feature. Landr, once again, does not charge extra for this feature. Next up, we have the Discovery Pack. I actually think Distrokid is the only distributor who actively charges a separate fee for this. It'll cost you 99 cents per song per year. It's not really major. Landr doesn't charge extra for it though, and I mean, Distrokid could have at least put this one in the Musician Plus plan. This is a fun one, kinda random. It's called Store Maximizer. If a new digital store should open up and you want your song to be put into that store or any future stores, then you're looking at $7 per album per year. It seems this feature is either not available for singles or costs roughly the same price. I couldn't get clarity on that. Landr will do this at no extra cost. If you decide to do a cover song, it's $12, which I was like, hey, not bad, till I saw the per year part. That one always gets me. Landr charges $15, but it's a once-off fee. So I think we're starting to see the picture with Distrokid. They are not looking at the short-term goal. As long as they can get you in, they will get the money from you in the long term. So now, as I promised, it's time for the math to start mathing. So let's do a 5-year breakdown of distributing with Landr versus Distrokid so we can see the long-term cost of using both. We will work on 5 singles and 3 albums, each album containing 7 songs, as that would be the minimum requirement for it to be classified as an album. So Distrokid's base cost is, as we mentioned, $22.99 a year. For 5 years, you'd be looking at $114.95. Then we want to add Leave a Legacy. So 5 singles and 3 albums on our first year, we're looking at $292. Of course, after 5 years, it'll stay the same because we're working on the 5 singles and 3 albums. Then we need to add YouTube Content ID. You're looking at $14.95 per year per album and $4.95 per single. So for our first year, we're looking at $69.60, and on year 5, we are looking at $348. Then we've got Discovery on Shazam. This one is, as we mentioned, 99 cents per single. We don't know what it is per album, so we're just going to put a 99 cents on each individual song on the album. So year 1, $25.80, and by year 5, we are looking at $129. Then, of course, as we mentioned, to have our song put into future stores, we are looking at $7.95 per album. This price can obviously vary because we don't know how much they charge per single. So on year 1, we're looking at $23.85, and for year 5, we're looking at $119.25. So for the 5 years, all of this brings the max totals for distributing with Distrokid for the 5 years to $1,003.20. And let's say you were to add cover songs to this. It can get very scary very fast. Landr's total comes up to $224.95 for those same 5 singles and 3 albums for 5 years, and you would only pay once for each of those cover songs. So it's clear that Landr is drastically more affordable than Distrokid. Once again, I do believe that Distrokid has all the tools needed. Its major drawback is it tries to charge you for every little thing, and it has a ton of recurring costs. If they could find a way to just meet artists in the middle, I believe Distrokid, it's hard to say that I believe Distrokid could be one of the biggest distributors because realistically they already are, but it's just the fact that most people don't know about these hidden costs, sort of why they are. So as it's obvious that we are leaning towards Landr in this price war, we have included a discount link at the bottom of this video for 20% off of your Landr subscription. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a setup. Landr told them to say all this. I mean, just after I offered you that 20% off, you're like, okay, this is a Landr sponsored video. Just go to Distrokid's website and have a look for yourself. All the info I have was provided by a great source known as distrokid.com. So if you are planning on migrating from Distrokid to Landr, they have an easy to use tool to transfer all metadata over, and a lot of distributors have these now. I'm pretty sure Distrokid has a very similar tool. So you simply have to provide your release URLs on Spotify and Apple Music, and Landr will create a new draft release that contains as much info as they could extract from those links. You then must supply the audio files. If the audio file is not exact, this won't work. The metadata has to match. Once the release appears in the store, you can initiate a takedown from your original distributor, not before, only after. If you follow the steps properly, then the merge will be successful and you won't lose your play counts. So the motto of the story is to simply do your homework before stepping into bed with any distributor. Don't pay for features that everybody else is giving away for, don't want to say for free, but everyone else is more upfront about and you can get at a better price. To me, Landr wins. It's a no-brainer. But hey, I've never used Distrokid. I'm just someone on the outside looking in, and from where I am standing, it's not looking great. The pricing is not worth what's being offered. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget, if you are considering joining Landr, there is a 20% off link at the bottom of this video. Make sure you have an amazing night and thank you so much for joining us.